All right. We are here for our first session of In the Moment, which is a Chronicles of Darkness system game. We have with us Morgan, who is going to be playing Nick Miller, a junior at high school. We have Lisa, who is going to be playing Keres, also a junior in high school. And we have Josh, who is going to be playing Eric.
Hello.
A senior in high school, going through puberty.
What? No.
Came out of the womb like this.
We're gonna go around. You guys are gonna give us just a little bit of summary about your characters, refresh us, tell us what they do, what they're good at, what they get up to. We will start with Lisa playing Keres. What does she get into?
She gets into a lot of art. She's especially into, like Renaissance art, you know, those really elaborate paintings of angels and naked people. She's super into it. She does like a lot of the darker, kind of more gothic art as well, but I don't know. She's just also, it's like, she's a dark person but into pretty things. She also is getting lightly into vandalism and a lot of breaking and entering, but it's always places that have been abandoned or repossessed or just nobody wants to go to.
Eric.
Eric is going to be, he's primarily into like computer hacking. His biggest kind of hobby is working with computers. He's just kind of being fairly chill. He's kind of just going through life. His primary focus is academics as well. Like, he's going for that long-term academic career. His goals just kind of tend to be, he wants to be kind of the best at anything that he does. So if he chooses to do something, he's usually going to do it fairly well. Yeah, he just kind of goes along with the flow of things. But does have a competitive side, which will lead to kind of impulsive behavior, which has bit him in the ass a couple times in the past.
Nick.
Nick is a troubled youth. He's had a very rocky and rough relationship with his father for a very long time. His mother died when he was born. He's very angry. He harbors a lot of anger because, as far as he knows, his father blames him for mom being gone. He doesn't actually spend a lot of his time at school. He barely attends enough to not get, like, locked up for truancy, because that's the thing that happens, apparently.
Yeah.
Because you can attend school while you're in jail, but hey. Yeah, he's got a lot of pent-up rage. He's causes trouble. Guess we'll just leave it at that.
All right. We will be spending a bit of time with each character. We're going to go through your days.
Cool.
And we're going to see where that takes us.
Sure.
We're going to start with Keres. You wake up. The house sounds normal. Put on your clothes, you get ready, go down to the kitchen, get your breakfast. You're about to leave, except you notice a light on in the laundry room. Your mother sticks her head out as you pass. Says, "Good morning. You look like you might be in a rush."
Yeah, wanted to get some work done at school for classes.
I just bet. Young lady, your clothes stink.
That's why they're going in the wash.
Do you know what your clothes stink like?
My
Clothes smell like cigarettes, young lady. Is there something you need to tell me?
I mean, it's a big tragedy. Lots of my classmates smoke. You tell me to make friends. Just occupational hazard, I guess.
I don't believe you for a second.
Sounds about right.
And I don't appreciate this attitude, young lady.
Appreciate the interrogation. at 6 in the morning.
Who taught you to speak to me this way?
I don't know. She's yelling at me right now.
I think you just need to go to school. I want you to go to school and come straight home. We are not done speaking. Your father's going to hear about this
Sure he will.
right after school.
Have a good day, Mom. Bye.
You walk out.
Bless you.
So now you have the option of taking the repercussion for your first tension, point of tension. You can either take that point of tension, or you can take a condition that you can later resolve in play for a beat.
She'll take tension.
All right. Presumably, Keres is going to meet up with Jenna.
Yeah, we run into each other about halfway and then spend about a third of the way walking together. She goes to a different school.
Jenna notices you looking kind of shaken. She kind of rolls her eyes, pulls out a pack of cigarettes, says, "Let me guess. The bitch found them."
You know it. I take one.
She hands it to you. She lights hers, lights yours for you. The two of you continue on. It's drizzling. Seems like it's been raining all morning. Your hair's not happy with it. Her hair's not happy with it. As you walk, the rain is seeping into your shoes.
Motherfucker.
Your socks are soaked.
Oh, that's even worse.
And you can feel the water sloshing around between your toes with every step you take. You have dry socks at school in your gym locker. You also know that the it girls like to hang out on the gym bleachers in the morning. So you can go get dry socks once you get to school, but you'd have to deal with them. And maybe that's not the greatest thing you want to do right after dealing with Mom. What do you and Jenna talk about while you're on your way to school?
Probably just ask her. She's a little more academic than I am, so I am always sure to ask her how she's doing with her schoolwork, if she's looking into any actual colleges and scholarships and stuff like that. It's not anything I'm actually interested in, but the fact that she is going towards it, I'm very proud and supportive of her.
She kind of lights up when you ask about her schoolwork. She's doing really well. She started early applications to all of the private colleges around.
Atta
She's
girl.
heard back from 2 of them.
Nice.
She's very excited. And then she turns to you and says, "Well, when are you going to start applying to college?"
Not really my...
She kind of gives you a sidelong look and... Okay.
Listen, you could actually go to college and do something with your degree and make 6 figures and live a happy home life. I would go there, go into debt, and eventually get kicked out, and then God only knows from there.
Why? I think you're just as smart as anyone else.
I have no interest. Why would I need to go to... What am I going to go to school for? And why would I need to specifically... I'm not going to become a doctor or a lawyer, which, yes, you should go to school for those things, but what? Am I going to go into 6-figure debt learning how to draw a bit better? To some snooty-ass teachers who think they know the correct way to do things, as if there's a correct or incorrect way to do any art?
Jenna's just sitting there, sucking on her cigarette, listening to you rant. Finally, she finishes it. She listens to your speech. She tosses her cigarette butt out and says, "Yeah, all right. Well, I just don't want you to get stuck in this town doing nothing like everyone else who gets stuck in this town doing nothing. I care about you too much to let you waste away, and I really just want you to do something that doesn't get you stuck here like everyone else."
What, you mean I can't bum on your mansion doghouse when you have a really hot husband and maybe some semi-gross kids?
She kind of laughs. She blushes for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but she blushes. You guys are coming up to the split. She doesn't say much else. She's very quiet, kind of smiley, kind of looking around at things, kind of lost in her own thoughts, and just smiling and blushing. And as you guys get to the split, she turns to you and she says, "Well, try not to punch anyone today, and I'll see you later." And with that, she walks off.
Oh, bye.
and you are on your way to school.
Sloshing away.
Sloshing away. Eric. Eric wakes up bright and early at dick o'clock in the morning. His alarm is going off. He can hear his younger brother grumbling on the other side of the wall to turn it off already.
Sorry.
Turn off the alarm. You get up. You get ready.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear it raining outside. You normally go for a jog in the morning before you come home and work out at the home gym. Do you decide you're going to go running, or do you stay home today?
No, it's not cardio day today, so I'm gonna just hit the gym.
Okay. You go down to the gym. What's your workout like? What's your setup like?
Workout today is gonna be.
What's your stats, bro?
Workout today, we're gonna be focusing on just hitting the bench press, hit the free weights. I've got some free weights over in the corner, ranging from about 15 up to 45 pounds. We've got a bench press, like a knockoff Bowflex, because nobody's got that kind of money in the corner, which suits my needs quite well. So I'm going to be working on that today.
Okay.
Put my headphones in and listen to new shoes.
So you're in your gym.
Boom.
Rest of the house is pretty quiet. Everyone's still asleep. You can hear your younger brother starting to get up and get ready for school. And he stomps on the ceiling so loud, and it startles you so much that the weight you're putting on your bars falls. Misses your foot.
Yes.
And then you hear your brother curse. And then you hear your mother wake up yelling because your younger brother has cursed.
I mean, how serious was that curse?
Oh, he dropped an F-bomb.
Oh,
yeah.
he's in trouble.
Bright and early. F-bomb before 6 in the morning, man.
An early morning F-bomb. He's in trouble.
Do you go check it out, or do you keep working out?
Curiosity. I just finished up, so curiosity's got the best of me. I'm going to go see what he did because it's going to be funny.
All right. You walk upstairs, and your brother is hurriedly trying to close his bedroom door before anyone can come in.
You got a girl in there? Puppy? Cat?
If you want
Hamster?
to check, you can roll a perception,
Let's do it.
which
Come on, shove your
is
way in there.
wits plus composure.
Wits plus composure, 3, and then composure, so 5.
I see a success.
Huzzah.
All right, so you succeeded at your perception check, and from what you can tell, there's no one else in the room.
All right, buddy. You hiding your corn stash? What's happening here? What's up?
He turns bright red and says, "Shut up! You don't know what you're talking about. Shut up and go away."
He's totally...
Do I smell the electric lettuce in here? Are you smoking the old jazz
Would you
cabbage?
go away? You're gonna bring Mom in here. Go away. And he's
Then I
trying to
suggest you tell
shove
me-
you
Help.
out of the bedroom.
Help,
and
Mom! He's abusing me!
your mother tears out of her bedroom. You can see your father getting up and he's rubbing his face. He's so tired. Your mother pulls a robe around and says, "What in God's name is going on this early?"
He tripped me and I fell.
She looks at you standing up, looks at your younger brother, who turns once again bright red, and tries to continue shutting his door, despite the fact that your mother is standing right there. So your mother has now noticed what he's doing, and is trying to find out what's going on. She's asking him the same questions.
Sure.
Is there a girl in there? Are you smoking pot? Are you smoking pot in my house, young man?
It's like
Finally, your brother just throws open the door and throws a pair of boxers down on the floor and says, "I came in my sleep."
Ugh. Oh, our little boy's growing up.
That's what happened. I came in my sleep. Are you guys happy now?
I heard a pretty loud thud, bud, so whatever you're doing, maybe work on that. Work on your technique. Sorry, Mom, you probably shouldn't be hearing that.
Your mom is just standing there, absolutely in silence, blank face, staring right past the two of you. She doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
She turns. She goes back to her bedroom. Says, "Well, it's time for talk number 2. Closes the bedroom door.
Wah, wah, wah.
The dad's still outside. It's like still in the
That's
bedroom.
in the bedroom. Your brother turns to look at you, lowers his voice, says, "You motherfucker."
He swore!
He just slams the door in your face.
And then I'm gonna go get my protein shake, laughing as hard as I physically can. Don't worry, buddy, the conversation only takes about 20 minutes and will last a lifetime of embarrassment. Have a good day at school.
And that's
Love
Eric's
you.
warning. So Eric did not encounter any tension during that.
Not at all.
His poor brother, on the other hand,
Took a beat.
took a beat.
Yeah, he did. Hey.
Nick,
That's me.
your alarm goes off.
That was me.
It's still dark outside. You're trying to get up before your old man does. House is quiet. You get dressed. You go through your morning routine. You come down the stairs into the kitchen, and you see that the light in the refrigerator is on. The refrigerator door is open, and somebody is moving things around in it, grumbling under their breath about his good-for-nothing son having gotten rid of all of the good stuff again.
Go into the kitchen. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Are you serious right now?
Pulls out of the refrigerator. His eyes are bloodshot. His face is sallow and shadowed. Doesn't look like he slept. Doesn't smell like he's slept or showered, for that matter. You're pretty sure you saw him in those same clothes Monday, 3 days ago, when you woke up for school. His keys are on the counter. His shoes are on. And there are wet footprints coming in from the back door into the kitchen. He looks at you, narrows his eyes at you. He just waves a hand at you and says, "Boy, not today."
Walk up to him, kind of like shoulder him aside a little bit, push the fridge door.
"Boy, I said not today." And he kind of shoulders you back and puts himself in front of the refrigerator. Says, "Now, if you need something, I can get it for you, but I'm doing something here."
Gonna do the old puff up, try and use my intimidation or menace and be like, I need you to get the fuck out of my way. Go clean yourself up and sleep off whatever the hell you have going on.
Make your manipulation and intimidation roll -3.
Can I say presence?
You can say present. Since you are posturing.
While doing so, I'm gonna kind of like bring my hand up to my necklace thing that I have had for years, and I'm gonna spend a point of willpower from object fetishism on this roll. 2 successes. I got a 10. I'm gonna roll that again.
I thought that was a dicey roll, but
Yeah, it's not great. 2 successes.
Okay. So you succeeded at your intimidation roll. Your father kind of leans back into the refrigerator, kind of tries to keep his angry face on, but you can tell that you've clearly shaken him. He kind of looks away, looks down at himself. Yeah, well, I could use a shower and something to eat. And I need you to get out of my face anyway. He kind of slumps past you and makes his way upstairs. You can hear the bathroom door close. You have encountered your first point of tension.
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take a beat for that. I also do have my first short-term aspiration.
Which is?
Actually go to school.
from the weightlifting perspective, lift some slightly heavier weights.
Okay.
That's short term.
Speaking of Keres, we catch up to her. She's made it to school. She's gotten her dry socks. Fortunately, the It Girls were not in the gym that morning.
Awesome.
Your first period is math. Keres loves math. Keres loves math because her teacher is hot. Keres loves math because she doesn't have to do a damn thing but sit there and stare at him.
Did you say something?
So Keres is in math class. She's listening to Mr. O'Brien talk about isosceles triangles. And she's just staring away. She hears somebody snickering behind her. Here's somebody, look at this. She's not even paying attention. She's making it so obvious. You feel somebody kick your chair.
Do I know who's behind me? Like, is it a seating chart kind of a situation?
You do have assigned seats, and your favorite people sit at a table of 4 behind you.
I feel like to travel in packs.
They're like
It's
wild
high school.
animals.
Wild, stupid animals.
So you turn over your shoulder, you see them, and they kind of look at you and look at each other and kind of giggle and go back to ignoring you.
Promptly go back to ignoring them.
Mr. O'Brien has noticed the encounter, and he lets people go on. You know, they're starting their work on their own time, and he comes over to you and leans down real close. You can smell his cologne. Says, Keres.
I want him to isosceles my triangle.
Says, Keres. I've noticed you've had some trouble with some of the students in class, and I just wanted you to know that if we need to, we can have a discussion. Keres, are you paying attention?
Mm-hmm.
We can have a discussion after class if you'd like about maybe changing your seats or to a different period, something that would be a little less. Keres, are you paying attention?
Yes, of course. I'm always paying attention.
Okay, good.
Really
And
like
then
being
you
tied.
hear the girls behind you say, oh my God, get a room already. And Mr. O'Brien kind of looks up at the girls and looks down at you and says, oh, I see. Stands up and goes back to the front of the room. Amy, leader of the It Girls, the one who's been making all of these comments, watches Mr. O'Brien leave and turns around in her chair, nudges you and says, well, I don't know about him, but I can tell that you're pretty into this lesson. And I don't necessarily think that that's appropriate. You're making me really uncomfortable right now, Keres. And if you don't stop, I think I might have to go to the administration. You know how they frown upon students and teachers. What are you guys even doing? You don't think he's really interested in you, do you?
You know, you say an awful lot for someone who thinks so little.
Her 3 other friends kind of stop and look at her. Amy's face
Maybe a little
turns
damage
red
to
and
that
she says, what did you say to me?
I really wonder who ties your shoes in the morning.
She stands up, her chair screeches back and says, you little bitch! I don't know what side of the bed you woke up on this morning, but you have forgotten who. And Mr. O'Brien interrupts her and says, Amy, is there an issue? She looks at him and very clearly cannot, tell him what's been going on.
She literally can't even right now.
She cannot even. In math class, of all places, cannot even.
That's one of the places that's most important.
To even, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
She sputters, kind of stops. She just looks at you, glares, and sits back down. Her and her friends immediately group together in the middle of the table and start whispering.
Probably takes that many of them to come up with a good idea.
Mr. O'Brien just kind of shakes his head and goes back to grading papers. You have reached a second point of tension.
I feel great.
Would you like to take that, or would you like a condition?
I'll take a condition.
All right. You can take embarrassing secret. That's first period. Bell rings. Second period is one of Eric's favorites. It's computer science, and he loves coding.
Yay.
He loves doing more than just coding, but as far as the school is concerned, he likes coding.
Very constructive.
Eric, you walk into the computer lab. You're one of the first people there because your first period's kind of close.
Sure.
You have your pick of the seats and you go to your normal table. And you notice at several of the computer towers that there are small sleeping motes of electricity. You recognize them. They're spirits that kind of live in the computer lab. They feed off the currents, the Wi-Fi, the data. Anywhere you look, they're just there. They're not big enough to interact with. They don't do or say much. They're just kind of there, and you are aware that as far as you know, you are the only one who can see them. No one else knows that they're there. No one pays attention. So you're kind of aware that this is something, to do with what's been happening with you.
So I go over to one of the computers and I'm just like,
And it doesn't seem to pay any mind. It kind of wanders off to the next computer.
it worked. Do it.
People file in. Professor stands at the top of the class and starts addressing you guys. You guys have been working on a project for the past week. Nothing new, nothing terribly difficult. It's just a new set of codes that you guys haven't really worked with before.
Sure.
And he's preparing you guys for midterms. So you guys have a lot of time, a lot of freedom. You guys are just kind of going through, working on a project, and he expects it by tomorrow, end of the week. You've had 2 weeks to work on this. It's almost done. It's almost perfect. And you just can't get it to run.
Mm-hmm.
It just won't execute. So,
Is there a comma hiding somewhere you didn't see?
what do? Yes, most of the other students are currently doing that as well.
Really an awful
I
sound.
lean over to the guy door. I'm like, oh, Christ, have you gotten this to compile yet?
He just looks at you and he says, "Man, I don't even know what language we're writing in anymore."
Fuck, you're adorable.
Yeah,
Really
dude. Thanks. He kind of puts his headset back on and scooches an inch to the right.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
As you're staring at your computer, you notice something kind of familiar. It almost seems like one of those motes, but it's in your computer, and it's in the monitor. And no amount of wiggling your mouse can get it to go away, and no amount of typing or moving the cursor can get it to. It just kind of sits there.
Taps on the screen. No. Do you know what's wrong with the program?
He's talking to the computer.
I want to see the reactions.
The entire screen goes blank.
What? Yeah.
Your code is gone. And all that's left, beside a blinking cursor, is a sign of the spirit that went into your computer just before everything disappeared.
You little bastard! And then I'm like, Control Z, like, see if it undoes it. I'm like,
Everyone's kind of looking at you. They can hear the clicking, the cussing, and people are kind of nodding in sympathy and like, yeah, man, we get it.
that was so much work!
The professor
Why didn't I
comes
back it
over-
up?
Classic.
Huh? Professor comes over and, Mr. Lin, is everything okay?
It's all gone.
He looks past you and, oh my, oh.
It's all gone. All of it. That was so much work. And I didn't back it up. I'm assuming I didn't back it up.
You can,
Yeah, before we make that a part of it, did I back it up? That would.
Make a retroactive computer roll or something.
yeah, what's in computer? Roll what's in computer.
Because your computer, dude, it would make sense.
Were
if
you
you
smart
did.
enough to back it up?
Yeah.
Fuck, I would hope so.
That's 2 10s and an 8.
Hell
Reroll the
yeah.
2 10s, so you're at 3 successes so far. 4 successes, almost an exceptional.
You did, in fact, back it up.
Wait!
It is on your thumb drive, which is in your backpack.
Wait. Oh, thank God I'm not an idiot. Oh, I put it on the thumb drive. Yes!
Your professor kind of pats your shoulder and, well, carry on.
I needed that, thank you. Oh, so take the thumb drive out. Like the Tron thing. Hold it above my head. People around me are like, God, he's weird. Put the thumb drive in.
Spirit kind of idles for a bit. Your code doesn't disappear this time. You do, however, get a notification at the bottom right of your screen prompting you to format your thumb drive because it has been corrupted.
But the code is still there.
The code loaded up, it's still there, but you are now getting a notification that your files are corrupted.
Cool. I'm going to email the code to myself real quick. That shit's backed up.
Awesome. Just make a wits and computer roll again.
What was my successes again?
8s, 9s, and 10s.
Bummer.
Would you like to make that a dramatic, or do you want to keep it just a failure?
Let's go dramatic.
Take a beat.
Beep, beep.
Not only will the email not send, but you keep getting notifications every time you attach this code to this email that it is not a valid file.
What? It's Excel. Why isn't this working? Why is it Excel? Oh my God.
So now, as far as you can tell, the only working copy of your code that you have is currently brought up on the monitor.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm, fingers crossed it doesn't... Why won't it send? Fuck it. Alright. So I'm sitting there looking through the code, trying to get it to compile. Then I'm like, fucking rolling, keeping those fingers crossed since I can't keep it backed up for some reason. Oh, goddamn, the spirit's bullshit. Okay. What's the error code?
As you say that,
Yeah.
the spirit kind of seems to notice you, which is really strange because how can something that is just code notice you? But it does. All of the lettering of your code seems to get a bit bolder. The zeros and O's kind of blink and open and kind of like eyes are winking at you. And then as far as you can tell, the spirit disappears and it's not there anymore.
Huh. Were you fucking around with my computer? To the guy to the right of me again.
He just kind of shakes his head and scoots another inch to the right.
To the guy to my left. Were you fucking around with my computer?
She's actually a girl. She takes out her
Pardon me,
earbud.
yeah.
She looks at, nah, what's up?
Oh, weird. The screen's being super weird. Like, have you seen like the codes? Like, it looks like everybody put it in bold.
Kind of leans back and looks at your computer and shakes her head and says, it looks all right to me.
Takes his glasses off. He's like,
You should probably back that up while you have it up.
good call. And I'm gonna try and back it up one more time. Now that the spirit's like not fucking with my stuff, if I can.
It does work.
Yes.
Backs
All right.
up.
Perfect.
And there you go.
Fantastic. I give her a fist bump. Thanks for that. That was a good call out.
She knocks it back and says, yeah, ma'am. Puts her earbud in and goes back,
Go back to work. Yeah, that works for me.
All right. That was a point of tension, which you can either take or you can take a condition.
Let's go with the condition.
You can take frustrated, which is going to be a -2 to all mental actions until resolved, which you can do by opting to fail a roll.
Okay.
All right. So that was second period, in which Nick had phys ed and Keres was debunking art class, drawing her pretty Renaissance pictures. Nick,
It's me.
we're in third period Spanish. You hate Spanish.
I do hate Spanish.
Hate Spanish. You hate the conjunctions. You hate all the verbs. You hate how there are 7 different ways to say the word I
You're
in
traumatizing
Spanish.
real life me right now.
And you are in the middle of taking a test. And without being too cliche, this test looks as if it's written in an entire different language. You are actually very certain that you can't understand any of this. It doesn't look like any Spanish you have remembered studying before.
Just kind of like stare down blankly at my paper before like leaning back and seeing if it changes at all. Then like looking over to someone next to me and just kind of like, is theirs look the same as mine?
Teacher notices you doing that. Senor Miller!
Yep, Senor Miller.
Yo soy.
Bring your paper up here, please.
Grab it and kind of like do the frustrated stand from my desk and bring it over to the teacher and be like, I think you fucked up the test.
Teacher raises her eyebrows at you and says, I'm sure you do, Mr. Miller. She looks down at your paper and looks up at the clock. Says, Mr. Miller, we're 15 minutes into this test and you don't have anything written down.
You are very observant.
She's kind of getting red under the collar at this point. Is there a reason you haven't written anything down?
I mean, I guess I didn't have a very good teacher.
Ooh, this boy. Keres is into it.
You can hear the other students snickering behind you. Some of them are gasping. Some of them are egging you on. You can hear the jock that you ran into over the weekend.
Shit out of this boy.
He's actually rooting you on. He thinks you're hilarious.
I'm still gonna beat the shit out of him.
The teacher doesn't appreciate the attention that you're getting at all. So she looks at you and says, okay, you can either sit down and take what part of this test you can, or you can take the test and do it in the principal's office.
Tough call.
Man, normally Nick would just like walk out at this point, but he's here today for a reason, and spending the day in the principal's office kind of works counter to that. So kind of just like shake my head and be like, I'll take it here. Officer's like a half-hearted sorry.
She gives you back your paper. See to it that your eyes stay on your own sheet this time.
Got it.
Sit down, you relook at the test. And now that you're tense and stressed, it doesn't make any more sense to you. In fact, it seems to make less, as if somebody has taken the sheets and replaced them between her hand and yours.
So yeah, I'll do my best to complete the test at this point, but very obviously not happy about it.
Can make a wits and intelligence roll, -1.
Write your name on the paper as L. Nick.
Nico.
Nico with like a little...
Oh, that actually succeeded. I got 3 successes on that out of 4 dice.
All right.
All right. Nice.
So you're not really sure what you're doing, if any of the answers are even relevant to the questions asked. You're just writing things down as you learn them. Yo soy Nick. Mi nombre es Nick.
Good.
Donde es el baño?
But you do eventually manage to start making sense of this test. You're about halfway through the second page when you start recognizing words. Things start making sense to you. You're able to kind of go back, check your work against what you see, and you don't finish the entire test by the time that she announces that time is up, but you do finish at least 80. She looks at your paper, looks it over, kind of rolls her eyes and shakes her head, and says, well, thank you for trying. He goes on to collect the rest of the papers. Jock, whose name is Sean. Sean comes up to you, bustles his books under his arm, kind of jostles you on the shoulder and says, man, that was some funny shit.
Just kind of like look at him, be like, yeah. Don't say anything else.
Yo, man, you good? I mean, we got your back. That was funny. That was funny shit.
Yeah, I'm fine, man. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, man. All right. He clearly doesn't really seem to know how to handle your dismissal. This is Sean. He's quarterback of the football team.
Ooh.
If you don't want to fuck him, you want to be best friends with him, and you don't want to do either. So he's not sure what to do with you.
Yeah.
He leaves. Before you're able to leave the classroom, the teacher stops you. You expect that she's going to be angry. She's going to be nasty. She's actually very quiet. She's very gentle when she talks to you. She pulls you aside and she says, Nick, I know you're trying. I know you don't always try, but I know you're trying. And if you'd really, really like a chance to prove to me that you're going to continue to try, you can come back during lunch and retake this test.
See, lunch is when Nick plans to settle up with good old Sean. But it feels kind of torn right now because, like, I'm not a big fan of failing at things. He would shake his head and be like, no, I can't. Sorry.
That kind of surprises her, and she looks down at your paper again and says, well, you know I can't give you credit for the answers you didn't fill in.
Yeah.
It looks like you might only be getting maybe a low B on this paper at most.
That's, survive somehow.
She kind of furrows her brow at you and says, well, Nick, if you need somebody. She kind of stops and looks at you and sighs and just says, you have a good day, Nick.
Yeah.
And goes back into her classroom. So your goal is to then go to lunch.
Actually, a new short-term aspiration is my second for the session is to settle up with Sean.
Okay.
Real quick, can I make a short-term aspiration to get that goddamn program working?
Yeah.
Cool.
We have one class to go to before lunch, and I'm actually going to go back out of order because the last person to have a class before lunch, we are back to Eric. Eric is in German class. Eric doesn't mind German. He kind of likes German because it's a neat sounding language. If you get people to say the right words, they sound pretty hot.
It's true.
Hot
Really,
girls
really
sound
angry.
pretty hot in German. So that's why Eric is in German. He's kind of... However, the one hot girl that really had Eric's attention lately doesn't seem to be there.
Bummer.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Why even show up at that point?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, I still gotta get good.
Kind of sucks, right?
Yeah.
So the teacher goes on,
Yeah.
starts the lesson. 5 minutes go by, 10 minutes go by. Somebody stumbles into the classroom.
Hottie?
It is Hottie.
Man. Probably should learn her name.
Hottie's name is Lindsay.
Lindsay, right on.
Lindsay stumbles into the classroom. She looks strange.
Mm-hmm.
She's dirty. Her hair is shorter. She's wearing shorts that look like they might have been pajamas. She's wearing a tank top.
Okay.
The weirdest part is that no one else seems to have noticed her come in the classroom.
Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no. I wave. I'm like, hey.
She kind of looks at you and runs over to you and says, you can see me. Oh my God, you can see me.
I mean, I've seen you in every other class. What?
Kind of hard to miss.
Yeah.
She kind of looks around again and doesn't really seem to know what she's doing there or what's going on. And still, no one seems to be noticing her.
So, noticing that and not just fucking being completely oblivious to my social surroundings, I'm gonna kind of low key start not making it look like I'm talking to myself, like talking to her, but also not being like, "Hi, hey girl,
Hey, bitch.
what the hell do you mean? No, like, what's going on? Like, why do you look like shit?"
She kind of looks around again. She looks down at herself and looks up at you, and fire. The fire got. It shouldn't have. Everything was. I had it all planned out. It was supposed to go according to plan.
What the fuck are you talking about? So real quick, like, I'm gonna look like a fucking idiot if I'm talking to myself. So I raise my hand, and in German, I ask if I can excuse myself to go to the restroom.
Teacher gives you permission.
Danke. And then, like, I'm like, follow me, I guess. And then we walk out. And that way I can actually have a conversation with her without looking like a fucking idiot.
Fortunately, since class is freshly in session, there is no one else in the hallway.
Cool. Alright, sweet.
So it's just the two of you. And she's still kind of muttering about the fire and how things should not have gotten so out of control.
Okay. So I noticed that she's like, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And I think I know what's going on, but just in case. Stick my hand out to do like a reassuring, hey, are you okay? And do I, like, put a hand on
Passes
her shoulder?
right through her.
Fuck. What?
And she kind of looks down at your hand, passing right through her, and looks up at you. Looks like she might be about to start crying.
Fuck, I look like I'm about to start crying. What the fuck happened? Like,
I don't know.
what was the last thing you remember? What?
The fire. That's
What fire?
the fire. And before you can get any answers from her, she takes off. Starts going down the hallway.
Well, I'm gonna fucking chase after her. I'm like, wait, what?
She looks like she's going towards the stairs.
Okay.
She takes the stairs.
Okay.
You guys come out down the stairwell. It's next to the cafeteria,
Sure.
closest to the gym.
Okay.
She starts making her way towards the ladies' locker room.
Oh, well, no. Come back. I can't go in there. God damn it. Come. What?
She kind of stops and looks over her shoulder and seems kind of surprised that you're actually still following her.
Lindsay, we gotta figure out what the fuck is going on. Like, I do that just to be like, that shouldn't happen. Like, I run my hands through her and like, hey.
She kind of lifts up a hand to slap yours away. Obviously doesn't work, and
Point proven!
instead of looking like she's gonna cry, she looks like she's gonna yell at you, and she says, "You know, that's really fucking rude."
Yeah, well, so's running off in the middle of a conversation, Lindsay. Checkmate. Let's fucking talk. Because apparently no one else can see you, at least I can.
She kind of crosses her arms and sullenly doesn't really have much to say to that.
I didn't realize you were wearing your fucking fussy britches. What's going on?
I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Why?
You keep asking me what I remember, and I've already told you what I remember. What more do you want me to say?
Give me some fucking clues. Give me a break here. You're a goddamn ghost as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I figured that one out too. Thanks.
Well, good. I'm glad we're on the same page. But, okay. You're a ghost. You keep talking about fire. According to your plan, what plan? What plan?
I can't talk about it. It's look, I think I appreciate what you're trying to do, but just
So, real quick, Lindsay, you're a ghost. We're at least
yes,
you're
we've
incorporeal.
established that.
You're incorporeal, not necessarily that you're a ghost. No one else can understand or sees you. So, if you want to figure this shit out, we're gonna have to go. A
I
little
already know what happened.
Okay,
Thank you.
then what
I need
happened?
It's not your business. And if
If
you're
I
smart,
see
you're
a-
going to explicitly make sure it does not become
Well, shit,
your business.
Now I'm curious.
Well, tough shit. I've got shit to do, and I'm gonna go do it. So you find somebody else to make a mystery, and I'm gonna go live my unlife.
God, jinkies. All right, I'm gonna. To be continued, Lindsay. I'm not fucking giving up on this. Goddamn.
Good, because she takes off into the female locker room.
Well, how the fuck do you go back to class after that shit?
How do you? Does he?
Yeah, he does. Fucking his grades are important. Fucking
All right.
goody bastard. Yeah, that's right. So I'm like, I go back into class and very clearly I don't know what the like. Teacher's like, "Are you okay? You're supposed to come back from the bathroom and you look
He actually comes up and addresses you and says, do you need to go see the nurse?
Yeah. Something passed through me and it just didn't work out the way I was expecting it to.
Write you a note.
Thanks.
Send you off
Thank
to the
you.
nurse's office.
Thank you, Professor.
So that is a point of tension that you can take or take another condition.
Let's take a point of tension.
All right. So next is lunch. And before we get into lunch, we're going to take a quick detour to the nurse's office where they have found absolutely nothing wrong with Eric, except for the fact that he's a little shaken, a little pale, a little not really with it, but can't find any reason to send him home. So they release him as the bell for lunch rings. Underclassmen are leaving cafeteria.
Yeah.
Upperclassmen are trying to shove their way back into it. And everyone kind of, falls into their groups. You got Sean and Amy over in one corner. You got computer science people over here. Dungeons and Dragons. Keres is hanging over here with the goth kids who don't really hang out together. They just kind of be alone near each other, yeah. We have Nick, who he's kind of here doing nothing, and then we have Eric, who just comes out of the nurse's office after having seen a ghost. He's not really sure what's up. So we are now, all three of us, in one scene, in one location, having lunch with a bunch of people we don't like and a bunch of things to get done. Nick, you want to go take care of Sean, and Keres, you can see Amy running her mouth to him already. She keeps looking at you, and you are just waiting for her to stand up.
I'm waiting for that bitch to stand up.
And Eric is looking around for Lindsay, trying to see if she's come out of the locker room by now, and the only thing he can see is the same satiety spirit that's been in the cafeteria for as long as he can remember.
So I don't look like I'm standing, because I'm sitting there, I got my food in front of me, I'm just sitting there like just doing my thing, and I'm like, well, fuck, I gotta figure this out, and so she's being no help for some fucking reason. I break out my phone and I start looking at local news.
Okay, I need you to make a wits and computer roll.
3 successes.
So you look on your phone. There's not much. Whitechapel is a pretty small town.
Sure.
You guys don't ever get above 26,000 population. So when there's news, it's usually somebody got drunk and fell into the lake while they were fishing or locked themselves out of their house. I mean, things don't really happen here. So when you see that there was a fire at an abandoned shoe factory that resulted in the death of a teenage girl from a local high school, it's kind of surprising to you because things like that just don't happen in Whitechapel.
Yeah.
So you read the article. It doesn't have much detail.
Sure.
This just happened yesterday, so this is a in the process of being updated article.
Gotcha.
And all the facts as they have them so far is that at 7:33 p.m. the previous evening, a call was put into emergency services, who responded, put out a fire, and found the charred remains of who they believe to be Lindsay Byers. They are waiting for dental records for confirmation, and that is all the article says.
Nick is going to approach the table with the jocks and stuff. He's got like an empty tray of food, like an empty tray. Obviously, there's no food on it, but he grabbed a tray on his way in.
Since Keres is already looking in that direction, she's watching. She knows Nick's personality, and she's hoping for a show. Kind of leaning in on the table.
All right, so Nick is standing over at this table with jocks and the cheerleaders, and Sean looks up at you and says, "Hey, man, Amy, this is that guy." And Amy kind of looks at you and looks past you at Keres and right, and just goes back to talking to her friends. Sean, on the other hand, you got Sean's full attention.
So we'll be like, hey man, sorry about earlier. I was just woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning.
I get it, man. It happens. It happens. Thank God tomorrow's Friday, right?
Right, yeah, totally. I bet you do understand, like, how that feels, because, when I feel that way, maybe I mouth off a little bit in class or something like that, but I saw you on Saturday, like, when you wake up on the wrong side of the morning, you just, like, go fuck up some little kid's day, right? Like someone who can't quite, defend themselves from what I saw.
Sean's friends know what you're talking about, and they kind of laugh and chuckle. Sean kind of laughs and chuckles too until he realizes that you aren't really playing into the humor aspect of it. So then he kind of stops and sits up a bit straighter and says, "Do you want something, man?"
Hey, no, man. I'm just here to talk. I think it's great. You can't actually handle your existence. You can't actually deal with the people around you. So
He cuts you off and stands up from the table and says, "You little bastard, I'm gonna deal with you right now."
I'm just gonna take my empty tray and
And
just
just
right
whack
across
him.
the face.
Yes! Roll surprise first, because I feel like that.
2 successes.
Yeah.
He notices, so
That's okay. 13 initiative.
roll. Okay. What do you do?
Or
You smack him with the tray. All right.
Any penalty for it being improvised?
-1.
Okay, so that would normally reduce me to a chance die because I don't actually have any dots in weaponry. But I'm going to spend a point of willpower. I got a success on that.
Which defense?
5.
You take this tray, bring it across him. It doesn't hit his head, but it does hit a big portion of his chest. From what you can tell, it doesn't really hurt him, but it sure the fuck pisses him off. Gets really red, so red he almost turns purple. He starts charging at you, right past you.
That's good.
Misses you. He kind of notices, stands up, immediately turns back around, and he's ready.
I'm going to drop the tray and just kind of run at him and try and, like, grab a hold of him with the aim to, like, get him towards one of the cafeteria tables and just, like,
So are you trying to grapple
I'm
it?
trying to establish a grapple.
Okay.
From my character, because I'm in the cafeteria when this happens, what I imagine is I hear the tray hit his face, and because I'm so focused and frustrated on what I'm doing, I drop my phone and it breaks. I wonder if that would count as a colossal fuck up that would help get
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah?
Fuck. So that's what happened. Sorry, I didn't want to.
So now we have broken phone with dead girl article on it.
Yep.
Nick about to make some jock his bitch. And Keres is just having a field day
I'm
watching
having a
this.
wonderful day at school today.
Amy, for what it's worth, does not look happy.
I'm having a great day. I'm gonna
She
keep my
is-
eye on her because I don't want her to interfere with them. I'm
She
not
looks
gonna
like
get
she's kind of up and screaming and, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop! And
I'm gonna get closer because I'm not gonna get between two grown ass men, but I will hold a bitch off if she tries to play dirty.
all right.
1 success on establishing a grapple.
All right. So you grab him by his shoulders. He kind of knows what's going on, so he grabs you by his shoulders, which is exactly where you want him. Now you guys are grappled. He's pushing you. You're pushing him. Make your contested grapple roll.
I'm going to spend my first real point of willpower. He's on a mission. This is what he came to school for today. 3 successes.
Okay. So you keep him in this grapple. You manage to push him over towards the table that he just got up from. You manage to push him down onto it, and everyone jumps up. Amy's freaking out. She's screaming. She's crying. Her friends are freaking out, screaming and crying and trying to console each other because that's what girls do when there's a fight in a cafeteria. Eric is lamenting over his broken phone, trying to figure out what's going
You
on.
noticed what's going on yet besides you
No, not
broken
at all.
Because now everyone's up, and so it's not just you guys up and swinging.
There are other students getting up to see what's going on. They're kind of forming a small semicircle around you. You can hear the chants of
Oh,
fight,
good.
fight starting. Make your next contested grapple roll.
4 successes. I'm going to bounce his head off the table for
Oh!
bashing damage.
So following the sound of plastic hitting flesh, you hear His friends are so shocked that they don't even know what to do. They're staring at you in abject horror. Because who the fuck comes in and takes down the quarterback with a lunch tray? So they're not stepping in. Amy's hysterical. She runs off. Her friends follow. They go into the girls' bathroom right off the cafeteria. They run past Eric, slipping and skidding on his shards of glass. Manage to catch their balance. That only freaks them out more. Nice. One of the cheerleaders turns to you and says, "Asshole!"
Fuck you!
Sean started crying at this point.
Now I feel a little bad. I mean, Nick doesn't. I do.
He's got his arms up and says, okay, man, okay.
I got my phone like this.
Jesus, okay. Kind of pushes you off of him and gets himself right. Are you accepting the surrender?
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I don't know why you had to go and get involved anyway. We're just having fucking fun.
Okay, find a different way to have fun, yeah? Piece of shit.
You know what, man? Whatever. He takes his friends and nods his head and they slunk off, their tail between their legs. People start clapping and cheering and laughing and hollering, and you can hear people, "I'll put it on Facebook. I got it on YouTube." That's a hell of a lot of tension.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'd say that would relieve some fucking tension right there, beating a dude's ass.
Alright, so now we've just gotten through this fight. Nick's standing over at the table. Keres is kind of keeping an eye on things where no one's standing anymore. Eric, what are you doing?
Finally, having picked up my phone, I'm like, oh my god, I don't even know if I can fix this. And then I hear the clapping. I'm like, wait, what happened?
So you turn around, you look around, you see most of the upperclassmen in the cafeteria up, standing on tables, standing on chairs, all looking towards Nick, and they're clapping and they're cheering.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He's got a discarded cafeteria tray thrown on the ground by his feet.
I walk over and I didn't like the food, huh?
Nick would actually laugh.
Nick laughs.
And then reach for, I'd grab some of the food that Sean left on the table, assuming it doesn't look too, like, spit in or bloody or...
He'd actually just sat down with his food when you came over, so it's pretty cool by this point, but edible.
Like, yeah, man, just send in a message.
Oh, fuck, I think he sent that one express. What the fuck happened?
So, that guy, grade A asshole, came across him beating up some kid over the weekend with his buddies. Figured, I mean, kid got away like almost right after, but that pissed me off a little bit.
Alright there, fucking Dark Knight. Alright, I love it. You know you're gonna get fucked though from that, right? Like, you realize that. If he and his boys don't try and jump you, you're fucked from a schooling perspective.
I come jogging up and I got this big ass. I was like, "You need to go. We need to go right now. We need to get out of here right now."
Fuck.
You can hear teachers
I'm
way in the back of the cafeteria.
Grabbing, Nick's hand.
All right, guys. All right, everyone, go sit down. Everyone, sit down.
I'm trying to pull him through the crowd.
Pretty sure I just saw one of the cafeteria ladies going for a smoke break, so you might be able to get out that way. But dude,
I know.
if you don't get
I
expelled
should
for
know
that, I don't know what I'll eat these fucking phone faces.
I grab more food off the cafeteria tray and then I start kind of, not really running, but kind of
I'm pulling him through to get out.
Are you following them, or are you staying in the cafeteria?
I'm staying here. I'm not getting involved with that. I'm just gonna stay here for now. I'm still trying to figure some shit out.
Well, in high school administration logic, you're probably already involved.
That's fair. Fuck it. Alright, yeah.
Come on, make a decision. Let's go.
I mean, you have been seen talking to not only the guy starting the fight, but the girl who's now leading him away.
Okay, just a second. I'm trying to think what my character would actually do. Alright, fuck it. Yeah, I'll go with you guys. You're homies. So.
Alright. I need you to...
Oh, Jesus.
Who is the sneakiest? So,
teamwork? Or?
yes, the two of you roll your 3 dice. He's going to roll his 4. The successes they get, you can add to your dice pool, and that's what you'll roll.
Adding 1 from me.
We'll power through.
That was really close. Oh, I see 1.
So, you guys manage to sneak out successfully. No one notices you in the chaos. You guys get out right through the back door of the cafeteria kitchens that Eric noticed was open. So, the 3 of you sneak out. You're outside. You can hear the chaos kind of dying down inside. Where do you go? How do you decide that?
Nick just starts walking. Just walking. I mean, I'm not like trying to make any distance between me and them or anything.
So you're not like rushing off.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like
and
picking a direction and walking and be like, no reason to be here anymore.
Where to then?
And then like kind of do a double take at seeing you with us having skips going like,
Wait,
One
you
of these
didn't
things
actually
is not
do
like the other.
anything wrong, though.
yeah.
I mean, you
Why
probably
the
would
fuck
have
did I
been
come with
busted
you
anyways.
guys?
But man, you look like you had a fucking day.
Fuck, so does that Sean.
Yeah, he does.
But yeah. And I look at my phone like, do you guys know Lindsay?
Hot chick, right?
Yeah, super hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I know Lindsay?
You know Lindsay from art class, and you would have noticed that she was not there today.
Yeah, I know Lindsay. She's alright. We don't talk much.
Well, you're not going to talk with her at all. Like, I'm surprised the school didn't say anything, but I think she's dead.
No shit.
Yeah.
Nick's feeling real awkward about calling her the hot chick.
No,
now.
it's still true. But her being dead doesn't stop that. But fuck, yeah, no, I was looking through and I don't tell you guys that I saw.
I was gonna say I don't know if you noticed any of that, but that was a current tense.
Yeah.
Being dead doesn't stop.
Yeah. Yeah, I was checking through the local news because that's what a fucking teenager does. And there's like a fire, and apparently they found the body and they think it's her.
Where did they find a body?
Fuck, man.
I'd show you on the fucking report, but they were shoe factory.
Shut down about 10 years ago. It's perpetually for sale. It's not dilapidated. It's kept in pretty decent shape for an abandoned place, or it was before it was burned down. But it was one of the cleaner buildings, abandoned buildings. It just seemed like no one really took up residence there after the shoe factory left, and that's kind of why it had been abandoned. So.
R.I.P. Payless.
So that old place, I mean, they've been trying to sell that place for like 10 fucking years. And it finally just burned down out of nowhere.
And then I'm like talking to someone like, why the hell didn't she tell me that? Like, why'd she burn down a fucking shoe factory?
Wait, are you saying that out loud
Yes,
to yourself?
I'm
Alright, I want
going
to
to-
roll perception to see if I can hear him
Because
say
I
that.
want to make sure that we can.
Yeah.
Are you trying to keep it quiet?
I'm just under my breath. I'm not particularly
Yeah, roll
like I'm just
perception.
like talking to myself, but
You
not,
can also roll perception.
not to you guys specifically.
Nada.
Okay, so
Shit.
you don't hear it. You're
Like
still
I hear
kind
him
of
mumbling though.
yeah.
like,
You hear him mumbling. You can't make it
Can't
out.
make it
You're
out.
still what abandoned shoe factory.
I was like, I don't know, maybe it was this other one.
Nick, however, hears that.
The fuck you mean she didn't tell you? You knew she was going there to burn the place down?
Do you know something about what happened?
What? I didn't say anything.
You definitely just fucking said something.
No, I didn't.
I mean, I
So
could also
he
just
did.
roll against his subterfuge and see if I can tell he's
It also
That's
starts-
probably better because yeah.
one success.
So he knows you're full of shit, and he's not gonna give up until you fucking say something.
Oh, apparently I can smell bullshit a mile away.
So both of them. She doesn't even know what the fuck you said, and
But
she
I know
knows you're
you're
lying.
I know you're.
You're like, your face is fucking twitchy.
You gotta tell.
You gotta learn how to lie better, buddy.
Okay, so I might have seen a ghost that was Lindsay. And
Nick's kind of like reaching up towards his necklace as he kind of stares in disbelief.
her ghost came to me in German.
Ghost spoke to you in German?
Yeah, and she started telling me about how I think she set a building on fire, but it didn't go to plan. I'm gonna go, because that's fucking crazy. And
If you start to walk away, I step in front of you.
so, yeah, let's pretend we never talked and that I'm not insane, so. Hi!
Absolutely not.
What?
In fact, I think all three of us need to go somewhere.
So here you are. Old rail station. Doesn't get
Totally.
much use.
I go in and hands out gesture. Welcome to my domain.
This is technically, terrific.
So you're here. Inside of your abandoned rail station. Your art is on the walls. Your circle is on the floor. You'd see some small
Okay.
decay spirits.
Okay,
No bigger, no more powerful than the ones that are in the computer lab.
gotcha.
Nothing really hostile.
Okay.
They don't seem like they're doing anything. They're just there. Kind of like dust.
Like the orbs.
Yeah.
know?
You see me doing alright, you guys not see those?
Are you on something, dude?
Oh, if I'm no.
Should you be on something that you're not on?
That's debatable.
Like,
That
I
is
know
That's the question.
I know a guy if you need some ADD meds.
Well, no, though. So I kind of talked around this before, but I can see into the spirit world. I realize that sounds fucking insane, but
You're right.
why sugarcoat it? You know,
Do you see any spirits near me?
I guess you would call them decay motes. They're just little. They're not harmful. They're not.
Sounds harmful, though.
Well, this guy's pretty chill. Not all of them are bad. Some of them just exist, from what I've been able to find out. They do their job and they exist.
And some of them are hot chicks from our school that died.
Yes.
Yeah, details on that, please.
That summed it up. She's a hot chick, she died.
That's all you know?
I mean, she burned down the place,
She
right?
told me she burned down the place. Well, what she says was it was supposed to go to a plan, and then she herself looked pretty fucked up, and then she's like, the fire. She told me that the fire didn't go according to plan.
Does any kind of rituals come to my mind that involve fire?
You've come across various rituals that involve burning small things, writing names down on papers, burning pictures, but nothing that is full-scale arson.
I kind of think to myself, what was she like? You guys knew her better than I did. Was she smart or athletic?
Oh, she's kind of a bitch when I talked to her in ghost form, but
She was hot.
yeah. Well, all I know is that she was pretty cagey about it and didn't tell me anything. I tried to do it, and she just, frankly, it broke the spell a little bit. She's a little bit of the B word.
She's fucking dead,
Dead.
dude.
I said that to her, and she did not seem to be overly thrilled with me pointing that out.
You think?
You think? God, have you ever talked to a girl before?
Or a human being?
Once in a while.
It's
They're
just
usually-
like all computers and spirits and
You can say so much with an emoticon.
Thumbs down.
Christ.
See? I have a feeling she's probably at the school still. But again, I figured it would be worse if I was talking to myself and walking into the locker room, so I didn't go
Yes,
in.
that would be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you might have had to run away from the school like a fugitive.
But yeah, that's what she didn't give me anything. That's legitimately the problem. She didn't tell me anything. She muttered to herself, was surprised that I could see her, and frankly, so the fuck was I. But yeah, she gave us nothing else. She told me about the fire and just was gone.
So I'm gonna take this time and pull up my phone and start looking up stuff.
Okay, what are you looking at?
I want to also try and look up an article to see if there's any information, because I don't know how far he got into the article, and I'm assuming not far.
When I looked into the article before my phone broke, they were still looking for information. They hadn't actually confirmed it was her, but since I saw her spirit, I thought I did. I'm going to be pretty confident that it was her.
Did it happen to say? Okay, so you know what shoe factory he's talking about.
Yeah, it's fucking. I mean, it was abandoned for a really long time. They were trying to sell it, and no one would ever buy it. I mean, it didn't look like it was that terrible of a place, like, is actually kind of well maintained for being
Abandoned.
an abandoned industrial facility.
She was fucking around with some stuff. There'd possibly still be some evidence of it, but fire marshal's probably still there. You can see spirits?
Oh,
How long has this been a thing?
a while.
How long is a while, man? Why are you so fucking evasive?
Because it's weird to talk about it. Well, I know you guys are just being like, okay, let's note that shit so I can put him into the mental hospital. But yeah, it's been a minute since I've been able to see them, and it's been at least a few years before I really could consistently remember seeing them. And they're never gone. They're always there.
During the course of this conversation, Nick would be growing obviously more like agitated and bristly and tense and stuff. The fuck is the spirit world anyway?
I don't fucking know. I mean, it's just where they live from what I've been able to, like, there's only so much you can find on fucking Wikipedia. But, like, that's why I work where I work. I work in a little mom and pop store and trying to get some more information because honestly, I don't know that much about it. It's been kind of a pain in the ass. But I think it's just where spirits live.
I should know more about the spirit world. Shouldn't I?
Make a intelligence and occult.
I'm gonna take.
You success.
You haven't been able to come across much that doesn't sound like some middle schooler with a hard-on for the occult has written, but you have come across very specific differentiations between the words ghost and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You know that when people talk about ghosts, they generally refer to something that was once a person. Spirits are generally ideas or concepts that were never people. The spirit world, as you have heard it called, you've only seen a few obscure mentions of it, and the only things that they really say are that it's not so much a different place as it is a next to place.
Mm-hmm.
And they theorize that certain people are able to get to the next to place, and that spirits can obviously come from there to here, but that there is a very distinct barrier between the two.
Like, let's say I believe you. What does the spirit world look like?
Do you know, like, AR, like augmented reality stuff, like on your phone, like Pokemon Go?
Yeah.
It's like that shit. Like, they just fucking are there. It's kind of boring in that aspect. Like, I'm just in a dilapidated building with two randomers and the fucking...
So
You would know that that's not necessarily accurate
Awesome, okay.
because this is our world,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
and the spirit world, they don't, like, exist
Mesh.
together.
So
They kind
Nick
of
would
overlap.
be shaking his head in disbelief, like, man, I don't even know if I can believe you, because I've been there.
He says that. The two of you kind of
Very
look at him.
upset.
And while you're looking at him, before you have a chance to ask him any questions, something happens. He kind of disappears in on himself and explodes back out and then warps back in and then back out. And anyone who's seen Harry Potter is grossly reminded of the apportation scenes where they whip in on themselves and fly away.
And I saw all of that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are looking right at it.
Okay.
And then standing in his place is somebody that is almost Nick. Kind of looks like Nick. He's as tall as Nick. He's almost as cute as Nick. There's something really fucking not right about him. He just exudes this wrongness, and you can feel it crawling up your spine until it gives you chills on the back of your neck, and your hair stands on end. And
Ugh.
I take a big step back.
so here's this almost Nick. Nick, on the other hand, doesn't see anyone anymore. Nick doesn't even see this place anymore. What Nick sees is dark.
Okay.
It's gray. Everything's muted. The shapes are still there. The general outline of the building is there. But it all is very insubstantial. It's not really there. He sees this. It's very dark, very grim. And it almost kind of looks like a place that you're familiar with, but just like your friends on the other side dealing with your shadow twin, this place is very fucking wrong. You shouldn't be here. You don't want to be here. Everything in here is telling you that you need to get the fuck out.
What the fuck just happened to this place, man?
Worse is that through one of the windows that should be there, you can see something moving outside. You can't see what it is. Can't hear what it is. It's just something moving outside.
Kind of like anxiously grabbing at my neck and be like, so Nick's kind of like having a little bit of a breakdown and kind of backing up and kind of like backing up against one of the walls in this place and trying to like kind of...
So Nick's having a freak out.
Yep.
How are the two of you dealing with this almost Nick freaking you out?
Keres, she starts also backing up. There's a table she knows is nearby where she keeps a screwdriver, and she puts her hand around that and is not taking her eyes off of him. Like, she's not, like, she does not trust, even because she saw all that kind of like moving around, she doesn't trust that it is actually him. She just thinks it looks like him or something is possibly possessing him.
So Eric, being used to seeing weird shit, isn't quite so tentative. He takes a step back because he knows that that shadow version of you doesn't feel right. But honestly, he's more curious than anything. He's like, fuck. And is kind of more, like, he's tentatively like, but still at the same time, he's like, what the hell is that? And just kind of looking at it.
Almost Nick looks at Keres, kind of smirks and jerks his head up. Looks at you, peering at him. Does the same thing right back. Just gets a little closer to you.
I'm like, get away from him, get away, get away.
Starts kind of tilting his head. He smiles.
I'm like trying to like, I'm like not getting actively close to him, but I'm like reaching out like, fucking get over here, get by me, get away
He
from
looks
me.
at Keres, smiles again. And then he looks around, and he stops smiling, keeps looking around. Kind of starts whipping around and looking around himself. And he utters out a word in a language you've never heard before. It's not Latin, it's not German.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, it's not even demonic. It kind of sounds like he's coughing and sneezing and growling at the same time. Make a wits and empathy roll, both of you.
Cool.
For success.
So, he utters this word and you can't understand it, but you're left with the sense that he's cursing. He's upset and out of sorts and kind of looks like he's having about as good of a day as you two. He looks at the two of you and starts growling, coughing, sneezing at you, and you can tell he's trying to ask you a question, but you can't understand a word he's saying. What do you do?
Pushes through a bit of her fear, moves forward, and like is like pushing Eric's like
I'm
pushing
loving the
him,
image of this little
pushing
goth
his
girl
little
standing
goth
in front of this.
Like she's like just trying to like push him away because she does not like how close he's getting to him and how he's like actively, and she's like got a fucking screwdriver in her other hand and is like backing the fuck up. She tries. She's gonna try and speak to him in Latin.
Okay. What are you saying?
Who are you?
Doesn't comprehend a word you're saying. And it, again, repeats its question in a language you can't understand. As he's asking you this question, getting so close to Eric that you're about ready to shiv a bitch,
And Eric is just literally like,
he starts warping in on himself again. Spazzing out, shaking, his eye pops out, and then standing in front of you again is who you think is Nick, looking like he's gonna cry, looking like he might have pissed himself at some point, looking like he has lost his goddamn mind, and he's backing up against a wall as this happens. And then all of a sudden the three of you are in the same space again.
so Eric kind of snaps out of his curiosity and is like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? And then I see you and I'm like, are you okay? Because you're like tweaking out.
No, motherfucker, do I look like I'm okay?
What the fuck was that?
What? I don't fucking know!
How do you not fucking know? Jesus Christ, what are either of you two?
complicated.
At this point, it's worth noting that Keres is visibly starting to bristle. She's not only scared, she's not only frustrated and out of her league, but she's getting kind of pissed. You guys are pissing her off. You guys have all this freaky shit and didn't tell her about any of it.
Mm-hmm. How dare.
And she's getting kind of pissed.
This is not a fucking joke! Did you see?
Yeah.
And what the hell is wrong with you? Don't fucking move in on that kind of stuff. Are you stupid? Are you absolutely fucking stupid?
No, I just
Stare at computers all day, and you can't even... How have you kept yourself alive for this long? You've dealt with spirits for this long, and yet you're this fucking idiotic when you come face to face with one.
So Nick's pacing back and forth.
Pacing back and forth, muttering about shit happening again.
steps away, does a breath, and just sprawls out on the floor. I'm like, alright. Okay, what the fuck was that? Nick, buddy.
Taking a nap right now? What the fuck are you doing?
Processing. Because that's some shit. That's some shit. That's
She's like-
fucking weird.
She's like rubbing the screwdriver and the metal part is starting to bend.
See, that's some shit. That's a fucking screwdriver. She shouldn't be able to do that. What the fuck is going on there? But what the fuck just happened?
Keres is standing there with the screwdriver bending. Eric's going on about how weird it is. Nick's yelling at him not taking that. And Keres cannot calm down. She can't. You can hear her seething. You can hear her knuckles crack as she's clenching and unclenching her fist. You can hear her jaw cracking as she clenches it. And then you start to hear bones popping. And you hear Keres making very uncomfortable noises. She is clearly in pain.
The fuck?
Her right arm extends an inch. Her left leg grows 3 inches. Her shoulder hunches. Her back bends. Her leg kicks out, bends inward. This goes on for several moments until, for the second time today, see an almost someone, except for the fact that you two just very clearly watched this same Keres grow. She's now over 6 foot. She's covered in dark hair. Her hair's gotten frizzy. It's crazy. Her face is just pulled into a snarl of absolute fury, and the metal tip of the screwdriver flicks off. Flies across the room. You can feel this rage boiling inside you unlike anything it has ever come close to before. Your flesh is boiling from the inside. You're sweating. You are so angry. Your teeth bite into your cheek, but you don't hit anything.
She's just like grabbing her head and just like shaking, just like trying to like not fucking just go ballistic in this place.
That's not.
When I say don't push me, I fucking mean it. And I just like slam my fist really hard into the ground.
I'm gonna go.
Motherfucker, you're not going anywhere.
I'm gonna go.
Seeing dead people and fucking talking to you sends me to the other side.
Did you see that? That's freakier than you going to a shadow dimension. Look at this shit. What do we do to calm you down?
Just all a bunch of fucking freaks.
And I like put my fist like through a wall. I'm like, fucking guess so.
Alright, let's try and get a handle on that.
If there's like a little like side room like that, I just like step into it.
So she's over here. She's kind of in her own little corner. You guys can still see her. She can still see you, but she's kind of off to the side and out of everyone's way.
Fuck happened while I was gone?
You don't know?
The fuck you mean? I wasn't fucking here. Did you
What?
see me?
Yes! Yes, I did! I mean, a slightly more tweaked out version of you, but yes, I did. Slightly less hot version.
The fuck you mean I wasn't here?
Dude, you were right there, and you had like this creepy fucking From the Ring vibe about you, like the chick from the Ring. You had like this weird head tilt thing going on. And I've seen some weird shit, so I wasn't necessarily freaking out like the Incredible Sulk over there, but fuck.
Clawed hand comes from the door frame.
Sorry. Sorry, didn't know you could hear me.
Slips.
Fucking I'm gonna say it. I guess, like, did you ever play Ocarina of Time?
Everyone's played up.
Okay, it was like a shadow Link kind of a thing going on. It was like a shadow version of you. And you didn't know that?
The only other time it happened, I was a fucking kid. Fucking had a bad dream one night. Wake up. My dad's acting like a totally different fucking person. Like he wishes I didn't fucking exist.
Okay.
Starts drinking after that. And now I find out that apparently while I was fucking gone, there was a different shadow me fucking... You know, this shit has kind of set the course for my fucking life.
Well, fuck, I could figure that out now. Fuck, okay, let's gather some shit, because clearly some stuff is going on. We've all got some weird fucking freaky powers. I didn't know anybody else had this shit, kind of shit going on.
How? We're not fucking superheroes,
I
man.
didn't say we were fucking superheroes, but it is not a normal thing. My shit's pretty chill for the most part. I'm at least getting pain when my shit kicks in. You heard her fucking bones pop out of place. Like, I don't know what the fuck to do with that. That seems like the more pressing manner. She threw a fucking barrel across
Dude,
the
I
room.
ain't fucking going near that. Alright? If I have learned anything,
Yeah.
it is that you let a bitch calm down.
She is not like shaking as bad anymore. Most of the time I'm in control.
Clothes are torn. And in scraps where she had been standing before. As far as either of you can tell when you chance looking over at her, all you can see is a bare back.
Alright. You don't know what the fuck's going on. Keres, what the fuck's going on? Do you know anything about that?
Hasn't always been like this.
Can you give us more information? Because that's a lot to process. That was a good screwdriver. You broke it like it was a toothpick.
Hey man, I think better idea than having this conversation when
Sure.
she could literally rip our head off of
Yeah.
our bodies. We should leave.
Like, leave her?
Dude, fucking go grab her a change of clothes, come back, let tensions cool a little bit. We go, swing by one of our places, whoever's closer. Grab some extra jeans, grab a fucking hoodie, bring him back.
Cute. That's a good idea. Let's bounce.
Which one of us lives closest?
There.
Cool. Alright, my house is fucking closer here, I guess. It's a few blocks away. I've got some fucking gym gear in the garage. We can go grab her. Does that work? You have beef
Yeah.
with that? Alright, let's do it.
So, you guys go to Eric's house, get clothes, make it back. By the time you've made it back, Keres, again, kind of hunched in a corner holding what's left of her jacket around her, and
If you actually look at my jacket, you see I've stitched it back together at least twice.
I want to roll perception to actually notice that, actually. 1, 2, 3 successes.
so you notice it.
Yeah, I'm just like, hey, here's some clothes.
Nick's being a creeper and staring at you. No.
Nice.
Nick's gonna step back outside and kind of brood for a bit while...
While you're changing, I'm just kind of looking around and see if I can find any more spirits or motes or anything like that, just because...
There are new spirit motes around, and they don't look too friendly. Again, not very big, not very powerful as far as you can tell, but they are there and they are new. Make a wits and a cold roll.
An 8? Or
That's a 9,
oh, it's a 9. Even better.
but still success.
Yeah.
Yay.
So you haven't encountered this exactly before, but they do feel similar enough to anger
Okay.
that you could probably extrapolate. So, the three of you are now in this abandoned rail station. Nick has been to the shadow world and back. Has apparently just found out that while he's gone, there's another Nick in his place. Eric is discovering new spirits, has just seen one of his acquaintances turn into some sort of animal person, has seen another of his acquaintances apportate on himself and then give him the creeps. And Keres for the first time in a while, you lost control and you couldn't get it back in. And worse, they were in front of people you didn't know that well. And all of this because this fucker saw a hot dead ghost.
Yeah. So really, it's Lindsay's fault. Keres, how you doing? Now. Not ideal, I know, but how where are we at?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get like that.
It was kind of badass.
Keres flushed.
And then,
I've been getting strong courage when it happens.
cool. I mean, how many times has it happened?
Yeah, does that?
Like, where are we at now? Like, I mean, you did throw a fucking spindle across the room, so I guess that answers my question. But, you're good. That's kind of on me, but maybe give us some more information on how we can avoid that.
I get really angry.
Okay.
Before I would just kind of smash up the place with a bat. Now I break the bat.
Maybe we should follow up on this ghost.
Yeah.
What's all this other weird shit going on? Like, at least we can do maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna back burner you two. Let's focus on the ghost.
Where was she?
Girls' locker room. I'm hoping she's still there though. Now that I've had time to process that she's dead and there's a ghost, maybe I can try and ask her actual questions instead of referencing Scooby-Doo. She didn't seem to be a fan of that. Let's go see if we can find her, but you guys aren't going to be able to see her. Let's go scope out.
I know where her locker is. I could break that open if it hasn't already been.
Who did she hang out with at school?
As far as any of you know, Lindsay is kind of a loner.
Okay.
She's not antisocial, she just doesn't really seem to have many close friends.
Okay.
You
Don't
do
really
know
like
from just hearing her talk about it in German or in art or in passing, she has a boyfriend. But as far as you know, this boyfriend does not go to this school.
Gotcha. Well, my phone's broken. Can one of you check and see if there's been any new updates to the news
Let
article?
me see your phone. Let me see your phone.
I'm gonna look
Here's the
while they're
screen and here's
googling
the
around
rest
on their
of it.
phones.
Right.
I'm gonna
Make
try
a
and
wits and computer.
patch up his phone. No, shit's broke.
1, 2, 3, 3 successes.
Like Eric looks over, I was like, I don't know how you were going to MacGyver that together, but at least I A for effort.
Keres,
Sorry.
Doesn't
Actually, I want
find-
to turn that into a dramatic failure for a B.
So he's trying to fix your phone, and the back falls off of it, which is probably not good because you didn't think they made removable backs for phones anymore.
They don't. Fuck.
You made a lot
Keres,
of good decisions today.
meanwhile,
Scrolling through phone.
doesn't come across any updates in the one article. She does, however, come across what seems to be a freely hosted blog. There's not many posts on this blog. In fact, the only post that seems to be on this blog was made a week ago for a throwaway account. As you read this, you realize that you seem to be reading somebody's plans to set fire to an abandoned shoe factory. They don't really go into why. They don't really go into when. All you know from this blog post is that it's very, very important that this fire be set. That it's very, very important it be as destructive as possible. And that it is most important that they survive it.
Mm-hmm.
She mentions that she has blueprints of the abandoned shoe factory, that she knows where all the entrances and exits are. She knows how they're locked, how to unlock them, how to keep them unlocked. And all that's left now is to set the fire.
I read through that and relay that information back.
What kind of fucking blog is this?
Reddit post?
It is actually not associated to any web domain that you recognize.
Saber?
Saber? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Sabor is what I was gonna go with.
Roll intelligence and occult.
Oh boy.
Oh, just 4.
Wait, what
Oh
about
no,
the
I
other 10?
had a 5!
She's got her exceptional success.
Exceptional success.
So as Keres tries to pronounce this, She manages to do so, however. Eric especially can't help but notice how much like a growl this word sounds when Keres says it. Almost like a foreign language you can't identify. Like a cough and sneeze and growl all at once.
That's.
You recognize this as well, that it sounds strange, that it doesn't sound English or Latin or Spanish or anything else that you can think of. But for some reason, it really makes you think of that night you had that bad dream.
You know what that actually sounds like? That sounds like a noise your fucking doppelganger was making. Almost exactly like that.
Roll wits and intelligence.
Okay.
Specifically, the latter part of that word, there are 2 syllables. The second one, you recognize as being the word that this doppelganger was saying.
Part 2 of that was the word that your doppelganger was saying. I don't know what it was, but you were saying it.
I wasn't saying shit.
Well, whatever that was, that kind of looked like you.
Do you know what that was?
Yeah. But does that word sound, is that familiar to you?
No, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not a goddamn thing.
Not a single fuck. Sounds like fucking gibberish.
As the 2 of you are going on about this, out of the corner of her eye, Keres notices the webpage go blank. It refreshes itself and the blog post is gone. The website is still there, the account is still active, but the blog
But
post
now
is
it's
gone.
like,
Fucking check the cache or something.
On her phone?
Yeah! You're a fucking nerd, right?
That's not how it fucking works. Jesus. Fuck, that's evidence that just disappeared.
And you were the last person to access it.
fuck.
It's not great for us.
No, it doesn't look. It's
I
not.
mean, it's not great for you.
See if we can find that information again.
I mean,
Refresh the page. Make sure. See if it comes back.
As you refresh the page, there is a new blog post.
It's new, something new, something new, something new.
Screen-
Simply says, "This is not your business."
Oh, definitely screenshot that.
Do those words mean something to you?
I mean, it's English, so it should mean something to you too.
You know what the fuck I mean. Do you want to die?
After a few refreshes, first blog post disappears, and another new one comes up.
Mhm.
It says, "See that it stays that way."